Fisher Homestead here. How you guys doing? We're back working in the garden again. Me and Amy, you're gonna get to see some valuable tips here. We're gonna call this how to mend clay soil to make it plantable for your vegetables, and it really works. This is not a joke. If it's one thing I can do, is I can garden. So I'm gonna kind of give you guys a few little tips and tricks right now to help you out with your garden. I'm gonna show you what the soil looked like before we started and what the soil looks like now that we've started tilling and taking care of it and adding a small amount. Now, to do a bed the size of ours, which is 100 by 40, I think, 100 yards by 4, or 100 feet by 40 feet, 100 yards. That's funny. All right, so let's get back to it. All right, so this is what we started out with right here. Let me show you guys this. This is what I started out with. Look at that, hard as a friggin' rock. This is clay. I get a lot of you people on the homestead and on other channels asking, what can you do to stop this from happening when you plant your plants? Because when you plant your plants in this, let me get rid of this stuff. When you plant your plants in this, the roots can't spread out. They can't do anything. It's hard as concrete. I mean, look at this thing. This thing's ridiculous. But I have devised a way from my great-grandfather on how to fix this problem. And I'm going to give you guys all the tips and tricks of what you need. And trust me, this really works. This isn't, you know, this isn't rocket science. It's really simple. I mean, you can see, I can't even break it apart. Pretty big guy and I can't break this apart. So let's talk about this clay, okay? We know it hardens. We know your roots can't get through it. And it's almost impossible. Here, I'll get it close so you can see the clay in it. See that clay in there? Look at that. It's gonna be as hard as a rock, man, and it is hard as a rock. Now, if any of you guys haven't watched our gardening table, this is one of the things I got the gardening table set up for, was to sit there and be able to take it and make it into dirt and be able to mix it with some other really good additives to it that is all natural. Now, I'm crumbling this up now finally because it's still wet from the heavy rains that, if you guys don't know, we just got. And there is some gray clay in here too on top of this. So let's just get rid of this. Throw it out where it doesn't matter. All right. Look at that. It was still almost in a bowl when it hit the ground. Boy, I tell you. Okay. So let's talk about mending the soil. The main and most important parts of mending a soil is to have the right components to do it, okay? So me and Amy were building the fenced in area, as you see, all the way around, and it's covered by a 2x4 fence that goes around. And what I mean by 2x4 is 2x4 welded fence. All right, so we put those, and then one of the lumber yards had a sale going on for $2 a piece for landscaping timbers. So what I did is I went and I bought, I don't know, I think it was 60 landscaping timbers.
Yeah.
So we could use those to make our outer edges of our garden. And look at it, it turned out pretty good, don't you think? And it was cheap, $2 a piece. Now, if I was to build this out of 4x4s like some people do, and then get the welded wire, and then put up the top, and then put all the trim on, we would have been in this thousands of dollars. We came down to it, we did the figures, and it cost us around $400 to $500 to do all this. Not including the labor, just for us to do all this. Now, the plus is now it's maintaining the fenced in area. It's done. We've spent the cost, it's finished. And this is what we've come out with, and I think it works pretty good for our first starter, for our first garden on our homestead. Now let's get back to the soil, okay? Soil mending is not an easy job. You need the right equipment. You're gonna need a steel rake. You're gonna need a shovel. You're gonna need a pitchfork. You're gonna need hose. You're gonna need all the major components to doing and taking care of a garden. Now, one of the biggest components that we have, right? So this is an earthquake. It's a Viper. It's a 43cc, okay? I did buy a Craftsman. Thought the Craftsman would do it. I got it. put it together, put the gas in it, the damn thing wouldn't even start. So I says, you know what? I am a big Craftsman person. I really love their product. I've loved it since I was a kid. My grandfather used their tools. My dad used their tools. I use their tools. But as far as their small tillers are concerned, unfortunately, I have to give them a 0 out of 1 out of 5. It was terrible. It wouldn't even start. I couldn't believe it. I was like, it's brand new. So whenever something doesn't work, when you're right off the bat, I call it must have been a Friday. That means somebody wanted to get done and get the hell out of there and just boxed it up and sent it. Now, the Viper, let me tell you about this little thing. This little thing is a beast. It will do your job. Look at the size of this garden. It will do this garden. And it does an awesome job. So, for price, what was this, Amy? Like 200 bucks? Mm-hmm. It was $200, less than 200. It works, it does its job, it's really sturdy, it's heavy duty. And let me tell you, this thing has dug through some clay dirt. I give it 1 out of 5. I will give this a 5 stars, and I don't do that normally. But this thing is awesome. So, hey, Earthquake, the builders of this for a 2-cycle engine, the Viper, if you guys want to get in touch with me, I'll be glad to try any of your products out because your products are absolutely phenomenal. The Earthquake, it's awesome. 43cc, remember that. You can get this at Tractor Supply, and you can also buy it online too. Some places won't ship it and some places will due to the weight factor of it, but we'll see how that goes. So this here is an important part to your garden, especially when you live where I live. It's worth it. How hard is it? It starts up every time. I haven't had no problems with it. Now, the only thing I will say that you have to watch out for are rocks. And if you live anywhere where there's a large amount of rocks, as far as South Carolina or up in Maine or here in Tennessee, let me tell you, rocks will lock this thing up. But if you get a rock in it, shut it down. Don't force it. Pull the rock out, start it back up, and go back to tilling. And I've locked it up a couple of times. This thing is a champ. I locked up with some rocks like this that I didn't see that were covered in clay, and it prevailed. It won. It fought the battle and won. Pulled the rock out, started it right up, no problems. Okay, so that's another point that you're going to need for your homestead, and you're going to need this for your garden. Now, let's get to mending the soil, okay? So, my first part of mending the soil is go through. We did get some topsoil on the premise only that we had tree stumps and a lot of roots here. And I'm not talking small trees. If you go back to our prior videos, this side was across from our tiny home, and you'll see it was covered in forest. I mean, trees galore. There had to be, in this one little area that the garden's at, there had to be 60 trees, from big to small here. So we opted to get some just regular old dirt. I mean, it ain't even really topsoil, it's just dirt. There was clay in it, there was wood chips in it, there was a whole bunch of stuff in it. And we got it. We got 22 tons come in, the truck dumped it. We hand shoveled, as you see in our prior video, we hand shoveled all 22 tons of that dirt into our garden. Now, once we put it in here, it still looked like this. You go over there, you can see, or you can see right there, it's still clay, clumps of clay and everything. You can see it right there. Now, let's get serious on growing a garden. Your garden is a main food source during the summer and through the winter. Whether you're going to can it or whatever you decide to do with your food that you get. But it's a vital importance, and now with the way things are going, we all have to be careful. We all have to take in consideration of everything that's going on in the world today and make sure that we have a valuable food source. We've already got chickens. We plan on getting some sheep, and we plan on getting a donkey because donkeys are really good at keeping snakes away. They'll kill a snake in no time. And you think donkeys, are just so cute and fragile and just so nice and simple. Them things will stomp with no problem. Will definitely stomp a rattlesnake, and a heartbeat. And they take a chance when they do it. We know this, but hey, it happens. So that happens to be one of our homesteaders driving by right now. All right, so mending the soil. So the first thing you're going to want to do for this size area is you're going to want to get 3 bags of peat moss. Yes, 3 bags of peat moss. Peat moss isn't that expensive. To mend this with the topsoil and everything, it cost us about $500. But now that we've got it to that point, it's all a matter of taking care of it. So we got peat moss. So what I do is I go out and I spread the peat moss. This, you'll see this in the previous video. I spread the peat moss out. I mix the peat moss in. Now what the peat moss is going to do is it's going to hold that moisture in that soil, and it's going to stop from that clay and everything collecting and holding as a rock. So it aerates somewhat the soil, the way the soil is. Then what I do is I go out and I buy some really, really cheap topsoil. I go to Lowe's, I go to Home Depot, I go to Walmart, doesn't matter. They got a bag for $1.59 or $1.54, 58, whatever. And I buy 12 bags of that. It's nothing, 12 bags at $1.54. I mean, come on. And then what I do is I take that and I put 3 bags in a wheelbarrow, okay? And then I take some of my peat moss, and this is what you're going to need. You're going to need 12 bags of topsoil to do this big one area. You're going to need 12 bags of black cow, and you're going to need 1 bag of peat moss. Now what I do is I do an average 2 to 1 1/4. So that's 2 topsoil, 1 black cow manure, or cow manure period. All right, and you're going to need about maybe, I'd say, 1/8 of a bag of peat moss. You're going to put that in a wheelbarrow and you're going to mix that up real good. Then you're going to take a shovel and you're going to spread it out through the garden. And as you can see right now, we spread it out through the garden already. It's already here. All right. Now we've already amended this soil 2 times. We did it the first time to break up most of the big chunks. We did it the second time with the peat moss. Now I do this in intervals. I'll do it once, I'll do that. Then I'll add the peat moss, I'll do it again, and then I let it sit. I wait for the first rain to come in and saturate it really good. I wait 2 days, I come out with a tiller, and I till up the peat moss and everything in it. That breaks down, makes that soil nice and wet and rich. Then I wait again, I let it rain, and then I throw our mix, which is the 2 to 1 1/4. Which would be the peat moss, or yeah, the peat moss, the black cow, and the topsoil. So just remember that when you're mixing up this soil. Now I know how big your garden is, but remember you can make it smaller and buy less. You don't have to buy as much. But we wanted, if we're going to do a garden, why do a small one and have to expand when we could do a big one and we can make it smaller if we need be and not use certain parts of the garden area as is. Now we are going to make a gate during the winter time for our chickens to be able to run in here, because the fence is so high they can't fly over it. They've tried. They run right into the fence. We're going to have them come in. We're going to put hay down. We're going to put leaves down. We're going to put mulch down, and we're going to let the chickens go to town in here. And all they're going to do is just make this dirt even richer and better than what it was. So now that we've got that done, you know the mix ratio, you know what you need to do to spread around your garden. Make sure that you till it up real good. Now this is the result of some of the tilling that we got. All right, so I want you guys to look at this. This is what we took that and turned it into this. Look at the moisture. Look at it. It just, as we till it more and more, it's going to break up more and more. Look at that. That's the goods. That's the secret to a good garden. Now you guys are going to see all the steps that we're going to take in this garden. You guys are going to get to see everything that we do from now on. Our planting, you're going to be here when we plant all of our vegetables. Now I hate to say this, but I took a big hit on my seedlings this year. I don't have enclosures or grow lamps or everything. I'm doing everything all natural. The frost came in, what was it, about 2 weeks ago. It killed off about 40 of my tomato plants. The frost came in yesterday and the day before yesterday. Then unfortunately, We had some more plants take a hit. Even with covering them, they still took a hit. So we're only hoping that they come back, because if they don't come back, then we're not gonna, as our vegetables, we're not going to have. This year's been really weird with the planting, the way the situation is, and the setup and the soil. And, I mean, it's been pretty hard and tough on us so far. And you know, this being our first year, we didn't know what to expect, you know, and this is what we ended up getting. So what I'm going to do is Amy's going to till all this up really, really good. And we're going to get it all raked down, get it all leveled off, get it looking really, really perfect. And then, so we're going to get all this mended up, and we're going to let you guys watch for a while. She'll fast forward through it so you don't sit there and watch the same thing take place. While she's doing that, we got another video coming up of what we're doing for the garden area. That's going to be really cool, and you guys are going to love it. So at that point, Ames, I think it's time for you to get to work and see this tiller. Even Amy can run. Any girl can run this tiller. Any woman can run this tiller. Any grandmother can run this tiller. This tiller is a Mac Daddy, I'm telling you. So if you're going to go out, get the Viper 43cc Earthquake Monster. And trust me, you will not be unhappy with it. You will be very happy with it. You will be amazed about what it can do. So at that point, let's get to work, Ames. Alright guys, now I'm going to talk really loud so you can hear me over the tiller. But I'm going to show you what Amy's doing. Alright? So we start a row right here on the edge. And she only uses half of the blade of the tiller where the center is to cut this edge. It cuts it a lot quicker. And she'll go back and forth through the whole line. Guys, so we've done this quarter of the garden. We got 4 quarters and a hole, and what we're going to do is we're going to take the rake and we're going to rake it. We're going to rake all the heavy stuff out here that we don't want in the garden. So we're going to do that. Pull, push back, and we'll do it up to this point. That's our next starting line. Now the biggest thing is you want a minimum of 12 inches of fresh, moist, loose soil. So you have to make sure to go down at least 12 to 14 inches. That way anything you plant will be able to root really well. See, that's all the stuff you pick out when you're raking it. But look at how fresh the soil is. You just want to go over it lightly. You can tell, I mean, look at it. Compared to the stuff we showed you, and this stuff now, this stuff is phenomenal to grow in. I have a love and a passion for vegetables. One, I love vegetables. I eat salad all day if I could. I really would. You wouldn't think it from the size of me, but let me tell you, I would. I love salad. But it's so darn expensive to buy. I mean, people don't understand, you know. I see a lot of these YouTuber homesteaders doing percentages on how money they save and all this. You can't go by that. Because on a vegetable, there is no average. It goes up and it goes down so fast, you can never keep track. I mean, I've seen to where tomatoes will cost you almost $3 a pound. I'm going to grow them here, and I figure the plant probably cost me 30 cents. The soil probably costing me another $1. I'm at $1.30, and you can get a monstrosity amount of tomatoes off of one plant. And I'm going to show you how to do that in one of our next videos. It's going to be us planting our tomatoes. And there's some key elements in planting tomatoes that I learned from a Sicilian woman that will absolutely blow your mind. Not only blow your mind, but show you how big a tomato plant can actually get. I've seen them as high as 12 to 15 foot tall. Sounds amazing. If you don't believe me, go to YouTube, type in 12 to 15 foot tall tomato plants, and there is a guy there that has grown them that tall, the tallest tomato plant in the world. So, you know, I'm not joshing you on that one. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to rake this up. We got our soil all mended right now. This is all ready to plant now. We will not have to do another till. This is ready. We're good to go. This is the nicest. But now Amy's not a plant grower. Amy's a plant killer. But we're going to change that. We're going to make her into a plant grower. We're going to give her those green thumbs. Because my mom had it, and now I've got it. And I love it just as much as my mom loved it. God bless her soul. Ugh. But look at it, guys. This is the end result of the mix that I gave you. Tilling it up real good. Even having a clay soil base. And you see, I mean, there is clay all over the place. I mean, look at this. That's a piece of clay right there. Hard as a rock. Hard as a rock. But after I'm done, no more. After I'm done, the plants will be able to drink the water, which is the sweet nectar of Mother Nature, and they'll flourish. You guys get to see the whole garden grow this year. We're really excited. And hey, by the way, if you're really enjoying this video, don't forget, hit the subscribe button, the like button, and tell your friends about us. Spread the word. We're the real deal. We're doing it. We're in our late 40s, and we're pushing this out. And you guys in younger age can do the same. It takes a lot of hard work, though, and you got to be willing to sacrifice a lot, too, to start. But hey, we've been here for 4 months. Look at all we've done. And we're not rich. We don't have pockets full of cash. We do a little bit every month, and we let you guys see what we do. I mean, look at how easy the soil pushes. And look at that. That is amazing. God, I love Mother Nature. She is so powerful. So powerful. And our homestead. Please put it down below. And don't forget, I'll have Amy put those videos of the start of the garden. You guys get to watch it and see how much work and time we put into it. But the end result pays for itself. Remember, spend a little money in the beginning, and then after that, your homestead's upkeep. Upkeep. Alright guys, it's day 2 of doing the tilling. We weren't able to get that finished because we were working on this project right here. We'll go into that project on our next video. Right now, I got to get this tilling done. We got a garden to plant. It's about 7:30 in the morning. I'm out here already getting ready to work. Homestead never ends, man. It's always going. It's always busy. In case you all are new here, we moved from the concrete jungle, lived in a condo, 3rd floor, views of hills, beautiful place, had every amenity you could have, running water, the whole 9 yards. To move out here to the country with none of it, and working the land and learning something. So we're learning as much as you. I have done building work before, construction wise. I have done gardening before thanks to my great-grandparents and my mom, and that's where we started out at. So I'm going to get to work here. I got to get the tiller filled up with gas. I'm telling you, man, this guy right here, this earthquake is absolutely phenomenal. This thing is a beast, and as you've seen in the video, or as you're watching the video, you'll see what we're doing. So I got to get back to work. day 2. Alright guys, well we're about 3/4 of the way through the garden right now. We've got it all tilled up, I've raked it, it's all nice and smooth, it's all fresh, real light and fluffy, which is what you want. We're going to have a good rain come through here probably about Tuesday or Wednesday, kind of pack it down a little and get it made up. Now as we do the rows, we're going to do the high stuff towards the back. So the first 2 rows are going to be our corn rows. They're going to come down right to where the tiller's at, and then we're going to do our plants. But you'll get to see all of that on our next video. So right now, what I'm trying to do is get the soil amended and get everything loosened up and airy. And I got about this much to do right here. So I'm going to get started on that, get this part done, and then we're going to kind of clean up. I got all these stones and stuff to clean up out of this stuff. You know, because you got to be careful, even with a really good tiller, them stones get locked in there, you could blow the drivetrain and everything. So you just take your time, don't be in a rush. It'll get done, it will get done. We did start on this yesterday, got about 1/4 of the way through, stopped because we started another project that we wanted to try to get partially done so we could finish it up later on this afternoon. So we're going to finish this off, it'll be done, ready to go, we're golden. Now, what I am going to do is as we plant the rows, I'm going to keep about 1 foot apart, about 12 inches to probably about 12 to 12.5 inches apart on each row. And then on them rows, what we'll do is we'll walk down those rows. Those will be our running rows to go in, and we'll be able to hoe in there. And then every time we're done, or at least once or twice a week, we're going to take the tiller and we're going to run down that row to loosen up that soil so more of that water can get down below. So we'll do that on just about every row we do. Now, like I said, you finish one project and another project starts. Amy's wanting me to build her a clothesline, so that'll be another project you'll get to see on the video, is building a really cool clothesline. I have a cool idea for it. It'll work out really well, and we'll be able to dry our clothes. And there's nothing better smelling than fresh air when it dries your clothes. So at that point, guys, I'm going to let you go. Keep watching. I'm going to till some more, and we're going to see how this works out. All right, guys, so we're on our final leg of tilling the garden. We've got this one a little airy, but I didn't do a mix for that because I wanted to show you the mix myself, so that way you got to see it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this wheelbarrow, and we're going to apply the mix to it. Now I did throw down the peat moss already, so there is already peat moss there, so I will not be mixing the peat moss in there. But the peat moss has already been put down. I did that a couple days ago. And like I was saying, black cow. Good job, hey. Black cow. And then we got our Walmart's Best, or Lowe's Best actually. Now, this stuff is a mulch base, evergreen topsoil. So we're going to take this flat ended shovel and we're going to go ahead and mix it all up. Bring that top up, get all this mixed. Boy. You want to mix it up real good. Real good. And I'm telling you, this will keep the moisture in your soil. This will work wonders. You know, if you want to, try it out in your garden, or try it out in a test garden and see what you think. And tell me in the comments below if you do that, or what you thought about my mix. Alright. So I got that all done. Alright guys, so that's about the end of the tilling. Now we're going to go ahead and rake it. Woo. Alrighty guys. Woo. That was a workout. If you want to work out, you want to lose weight, do this. So garden's done. It's all been tilled, it's been mended. So if you're one of those people out there having problems with clay in your garden, and you're having problems with having plants, having the soil harden up around them, try my way. It works. It definitely works, man. My grandfather did it and I'm doing it. My mom did it. You just mix that little bit in there. You get that peat moss mixed in there, and the peat moss soaks up that moisture and keeps that soil separated. Now, there is a little bit of sand added to some of the stuff that I add there by the manufacturer, not by me, and it stops from clumping. And so you don't have to buy sand. I mean, I hear a lot of people say, oh, well, use sand and mix the sand in with the soil, that'll keep it. Well, that's an extra step. Buy something like the cow manure and the evergreen topsoil from Lowe's or wherever you want to get it from, and use that and mend your soil, get it all done. And look at it, it's beautiful. It ain't like this, hard as a rock. No, that's soft like a pillow all the way through there. So we're ready to plant now. So coming this week, we're going to do a video on planting. Now we're going to mulch this area. You'll get to see that when we finish the next build that we're doing. And you know, it's not that hard. I'm telling you, if you got clay soil, you can do what I did just by adding a few little extra additives to it. We bought some really good topsoil from a guy, and unfortunately the topsoil was filled dirt. It was junk. So we kind of had to sift and go through. I mean, tons of rocks, tons of clay. Basically ended up with the same thing I had, but we saved what we could save and just spread the rest around wherever we could spread it around. But at that point, alright guys, so this is the Swisher Homestead. Hey, don't forget, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell your friends about us, give us a chance. We're the new homesteaders on YouTube. And you know, I will say this, Viper, Earthquake, 43cc, kick butt, did its job, did this whole garden. I have tilled this thing 5 times the full length, except for this one section here that I did just to show you guys about the mix and everything. Well guys, I got some more work to do today, some more videos to make, and you know, it's a great day on the homestead, ain't it? Beautiful sun, beautiful trees, listen to the birds. Alright guys, well, I'll see you later. God bless you, take care, be safe, and thanks a lot for stopping by. Bye now.